if I would have heard these thoughts spoken by somebody else or written down by somebody else when I was dealing with them, I would be so relieved to know that these are not just thoughts in my head, but that they actually are coming from somewhere, and that is relationship OCD. So I wanted to give you the concrete word for word thoughts that I had, and I know so many of the girls that have gone through my programs have had. So you know that you are not alone. You are not alone. So let's dive in, shall we? The first is, why don't I miss him or her more? Or why don't I love him or her more? Why don't I, whatever feeling you want to put in there, him or her more? This is a thought I had so much. Shouldn't I why don't I feel more? Why don't I feel more attraction? Why don't I feel more sparks? And immediately that would send me into, this is not good. I should be feeling more. Um, what is the reason? Like, you start looking for a reason. That question that you ask yourself, why don't I, causes your fear brain to start looking for reasons why you don't love him or her more, why you don't miss him or her more. And it's so interesting because it's the wrong question to ask yourself. You have this standard by which you measure your feelings. You feel like you should be feeling more right now, and then um, because you don't, you think, oh, then there must be something wrong. And that's what kind of starts that obsessive cycle of finding what is wrong, finding what is wrong. So that question is very, very, very common. Why don't I whatever him or her more? The second one is, what if I wake up in 20 years, 30 years, how many ever years, and realize that I don't love them anymore, or I've fallen out of love? This was a question that came back for me so many times, and that I was so scared of, because if that would happen, I felt completely powerless in that. I felt like that just could happen. I could wake up in 20 years and just realize that I had fallen out of love. And I think I had heard somebody say that at some point. And what I missed there is that between now and 20 years, there's so much you can do to make sure that you foster love, you grow love. Love is not something that is just there and then it's not there anymore. I even believe it's always there. You just either close the door to it or not. So you have 20 years to figure out how to grow love, how to make it even stronger, even bigger, to allow more room for love, to feel more love within yourself, to connect to that source of love that you have inside of yourself. So I wish somebody would have told me this when I was younger, and I'm so happy that I get to tell you, and I really hope it helps, that you don't need anything outside of you to feel amazing love, and you have so much influence in how you build love in your relationship and how that grows and how you foster it. There's so much that can happen in 20 years, and you can be absolutely super in love, and you can work towards that. You are so much more powerful than you think. The third thought is, what if this is my intuition? It could be that the word intuition is like already so triggering for you, and you feel like that is like the end boss. When your intuition tells you that he or she is not the one, then you have to break up. You don't have a choice. And that's what scared me so much, is that I felt like there was this thing deep inside me that would tell me whether this was right or wrong, and I just didn't want to hear it, because I wanted it, a big part of me wanted to stay with Aryan, my then boyfriend, now husband. And I felt like if my intuition said I had to go, then I had to go. And I thought my intuition was the fear. I thought my intuition was the repulsion. I thought my intuition was the tension I felt around Aryan. And now I know that that's not true. That's not what intuition is. That's not how intuition speaks at all. Intuition will never tell you anything that will make you so scared. It will only help you. Your intuition is there to lead you towards where you want to go. It is unconditional. And unconditional means that there are no conditions. There is no, you have to break up or otherwise I will make you suffer for the rest of your life. I will make you feel this tension for the rest of your life. I will make you unhappy for the rest of your life. That is absolutely not what love is, and so it is not what your intuition is. So unconditional love means you get to decide. You 100% get to decide. And that scares you, doesn't it? Because you're afraid that you'll make the wrong choice. But how do I know then that that's the right choice? And I won't go into that right now because that's like a whole other video. But the thing is, you make it out to be such a black and white thing. You think it's either the right choice or it's not. It's either the one or it's not. And that's not how love works. I've interviewed 100 couples happily married over 40 years. Sorry, 100 couples happily married over 40 years. And so many of them said that they had doubts in the beginning of their relationship. They didn't really know if the other one was the one or not. They just asked questions and kind of saw if their image of the future lined up. They wanted the same things out of life. And love can grow, and being in love can grow. And it's way more what you do every single day and what you choose to focus on and what you choose to invest on in than that it is the absolute right choice now, the perfect choice right now. So that helped me to see that my intuition wasn't something that was going to make me suffer if I didn't make the right choice, or that was going to make me do something that I didn't want to do. And that's interesting. This whole channel is about the fearful avoidant attachment style. If you didn't know, watch all the other videos, because relationship OCD and the fearful avoidant attachment style are highly linked. And so many people with the fearful avoidant attachment style have experienced in their childhood that what they wanted didn't matter. What they wanted just didn't really matter. And so you have this like mechanism or this voice in your head that is just demanding things of you. And you're almost scared to want something because you're scared that it won't be taken seriously or it will be taken away from you. And you are just so used to that controlling and manipulative demeanor, that behavior, that you almost are like, well, but can I just stay? Can I just stay in a relationship that kind of feels safe and good and loving? And yes, you can. Yes, you absolutely can. You are grown up. You have way more power in your life and over your life than you think, and even over how you feel and what you want to feel. You don't need things to be perfect to be really, really, really happy and really in love. And love can grow and being in love can grow. But you get to decide. You have that power to decide. Nothing inside you will tell you something you don't want to hear and make you do things you don't want to do. That is a remnant of the past. That is absolutely something from the past. The fourth question, or the fourth thought, is what if everybody knows that we are not right for each other and nobody tells me, and then I'm the last one to know? And this comes from the deep fear of doing something dumb, of doing something irresponsible, and just not being aware of it. And that's what makes you be so hyper aware. Like you always have to know everything. So you doubt and doubt again. You think, oh, I think we're cute together, but are we really? Wait, what if that isn't right? Wait, what if that isn't right? Maybe we're physically compatible, but what if we aren't intellectually compatible? So you are just so afraid that other people know something that you don't know. And you know what? It doesn't matter what other people think and what other people know, because it's all based on their own fears, their own experiences, their own stories that they have around love. So even if they have an opinion about you, and believe me, you think they have a lot of opinions about you and like really strong opinions, they don't. Everybody's just focused on themselves so much more than you think. So they are not going through their day thinking, oh, they are not right for each other. That just doesn't happen. So it doesn't matter what other people think and what they think they know. There might be I know there's couples that I've interviewed where their parents said, this isn't right, you aren't right for each other. And here they were 40 years later, super happy together. So even if somebody else knows, they don't know. That's just their own opinion, their own belief based on so many of the things they have experienced and their fears. It has nothing to do with you. It only matters what you think and what you want, but you are afraid to trust that because you haven't learned to trust that. But you can trust yourself way more than you think. The fifth one is, what if I'm fooling myself? And this kind of ties into the last one. So this was a question that that could like send me into a panic attack again and again. What if I'm fooling myself? And it was almost like a bolt of lightning, all of a sudden that question came in my mind. But what if I'm fooling myself? And it was almost like everything was exposed for a second. I was just fooling myself. I didn't love him. I didn't want to be with him. I was just trying to be with him and trying to make it work, and it didn't work, and I should listen to my intuition. And wasn't this my intuition telling me that I should go? It was every time I like remember all these cycles of thoughts, it kind of exhausts me. So if you're exhausted, it's very logical that you feel exhausted. But I don't really believe in fooling yourself. And especially not if you have relationship OCD, because you have focused on every single thing that could be wrong in the relationship a million times. And that's more than 99.9% of people around you have done. So how are you fooling yourself? How are you fooling yourself? You've looked at this relationship in any which way, but what you haven't done, maybe, is focus on the positive and just allow the negative to be there. Focus on the positive that is there, and at least equally to the negative. And that's so funny, because if there were such a thing as fooling yourself, isn't it also fooling yourself to purely focus on the negative, purely focus on what you're missing, purely focus on what could be wrong, could be not right in the relationship, and ignore the positive that is there? So I'm not asking you to look at or make up things that aren't there in the positive and like convince yourself that they're there. Just equally, at least, look at the positive. Be grateful for what there is, what you do have. Because otherwise it isn't balanced, right? It isn't fair. So it's so interesting that you're so scared of fooling yourself that you're just purely focusing on the negative. And because of that, you're finding more negative things, because that's how the brain works. And this is also like, it sounds so simple, right? Just focus on the positive. You do this because you're so scared. You do this because you want to make sure that you don't miss anything, that you don't do a dumb thing. But you being afraid of that is causing you to be really unhappy and not allowing the relationship to be what it can be. Because if you focus on the negative, that's what you're going to create in your relationship. If you focus on the positive, you will create more positives in your relationship. And a relationship can absolutely transform just by the way you look at it. The way I look at Arjan, my husband, now, versus when I was in the middle of a relationship, OCD and doubts, is just 180% different. And the feelings I have with that are different. And the way we communicate and the connection I allow or we allow is completely different, just by looking at the relationship differently. So also there, you have so much more power than you think. And then the last one, the last obsessive thought is, shouldn't I? Shouldn't I be feeling more? Shouldn't I be doing more? Shouldn't I love them more? Shouldn't I miss them more? Shouldn't I want to be with them more? Shouldn't I know for sure? Shouldn't I want to have sex with them all the time? Shouldn't I? Shouldn't I? Shouldn't I? And this is also like a dead end question, in the sense that what is an answer to this going to give you? It's not going to give you a lot, because you have this standard in your head of what it should be. You have this idea of what you should be feeling, and you judge yourself immediately. You judge your feelings for not being up to that standard. But what if you could just allow yourself to let go of any standard and just allow whatever is? Because it's interesting that you demand of yourself to feel more, and at the same time you're so scared of your feelings. Every single thing I felt like I should be feeling more, and I was so hard on myself for not feeling more, I now know, looking back, I was super scared of feeling. I was so scared of feeling more attraction and having to be vulnerable. I was so scared of feeling more love and risking him rejecting me or losing him. There were such good reasons for me to not feel what I was not feeling. So, this is something we will definitely dive into in the online program, because the more you can make it feel safe to feel all those feelings that you think you should be feeling, the more they're just going to be there. That's just how it works. It's super interesting how that works. But there are reasons for you to not allow your feelings completely, because it's not your partner. It's not your partner. Those feelings are inside of you. You have all those feelings inside of you, and you can feel anything you want to feel. You are just blocking it. And you are scared of making the wrong choice, and that's why you keep focusing on what you should and shouldn't be feeling. But that's following other people's rules. That's like looking to have a guide, like, if you feel this, then it's right. If you feel that, you can stay together. If you feel that, you can go on with this relationship. And that's not how it works. That's not how it works. You get to trust yourself way more. And I know that sounds scary. I know you're like, yeah, but Pauline, I don't know how. I don't know how to trust myself. And how do I then know it's right? But it's not so black and white. It's not so black and white that you either make the right choice or the wrong choice. You get to trust yourself in that there is so much love. There is so much possibility in love. You can grow love. You can foster love. You can build love into this amazing, amazing thing where you create a safe space for love to flourish. And you get to do that. You get to do that. It's so possible. And you have this source of love inside of you that is just unbelievable and can make you feel such amazing things no matter what happens outside of you. So you are not dependent on anything outside of you, anything anybody else says or thinks, or whatever somebody writes on the interwebs. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You get to decide, you get to build, you get to create, you get to be you and feel love and feel everything you want to feel. And I so wish that for you. If you want to get to the roots of that, we will do that in the online program. You can sign up for the waitlist through the link in the description below. And let me know if this was valuable to you in the comments. And I will see you next time.